Hey guys, just wanted to do a little tool inventory here. I wanted to show you some of the tools that electricians use. One of the basic tools is this one right here. A lot of people call these clines. These are side cutters, and these have a cutting edge on them for cutting wire. And they also have pliers for twisting wire. And normally when you're doing commercial, industrial work, or any kind of work for that matter, you usually have two pairs of channel locks, and that's usually used for a tightening up, like conduit fittings and stuff. Now I only have one wrench out here, but this is a handy tool to have. This is a ratcheting wrench. These are great to have. It's a good thing to have a set of these. And of course, it's good to have, you have to have a Phillips Screwdriver. I usually have a number 2 and a number 1. And this is what I call my trim out screwdriver. I usually use this for putting plates on outlets and stuff. And this is just a standard flat blade screwdriver, but this little attachment on it is called a Conduit Reamer, and it has 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1 inch diameters. And what this is once you cut a piece of conduit with a hacksaw, you put this into the end of the pipe and spin it, and it takes all the burrs off of it, so there's no sharp edges for the wire to catch on. Another handy tool to have, a keyhole saw or a jab saw. A lot of times, you may have to add a receptacle into an existing wall, or you may have to cut out a wall to fish wire. And I was either a claw hammer or a ball peen hammer. I prefer a ball peen hammer. And this is my Allen wrenches, which is a standard Allen wrenches. Most of my tools I try to buy are Klein tools. They're all made in the USA, which is best. And they're tools made for the electrical trade. Now, of course, I do have some Sheffield ones. These here are kind of interesting because they have a kind of a rounded edge, so you don't have to be straight on the Allen wrench, on the Allen head. You can kind of get at it at an angle, so they're kind of nice. I have a metric set and a standard set. Now this little device here, it's kind of wore out, but this is a tester. You plug this into an outlet, and it has different dots on it. Different lights will light up for different things, such as open ground, open neutral, open hot, hot and ground reversed, hot and neutral reversed, and correct. And of course, when bending conduit, you need a good level. Now this one here is pretty good. The only thing I don't like about it, it's made by Greenlee. The bubbles do not go from line to line. But it's always good to have one of those. These here are crimpers. These are for like your automotive type crimpers. They have a non-insulated side and an insulated side. Generally, I always use the non-insulated because I always tape my connections anyway. And these are what you would call dikes or side cutters. And a pair of needle nose pliers. And these happen to have a little hole in them right there. And that's for stripping number 12 solid wire, which work really good. If you're doing residential using Romex, these work real good. You can strip it and use it to put a loop on your wire to connect it to your receptacle. And of course, just a pair of standard wire strippers. And as you can see, there's different variations. Some come in different sizes. This one strips all the way up to 8 gauge down to 16 gauge. Some of them go down even further than that. But these little holes right here are for screws, to cut screws shorter. And standard screws in electrical are 832 and 632. And what you do is you screw your screw into the threaded side of this, and it comes through there, and you cut it, and then you take the screw out, and you have a nice fine edge. And this is just the same thing, but these cut all the way up to, I believe, well, they might be 8 too. Okay, and this is a real handy tool here. This is one of my favorites. This is just a square point driver made by Klein. They work real good for Square D brand panels. And then of course, I don't have them all here, but these are just your standard nut drivers. They make them in different variations. You can get them short, long, medium, magnetic. They come in real handy. This little device here is what they call a ticker, a proximity tester. This, if it had batteries in it, you push the button on some of them, some of them you don't, but you hold this near the wire and the light lights up and it'll beep to tell you if there's power there. Never depend on these. They're not always 100% accurate. I always use your meter. And this here is a multimeter. And this one particular model has volts, and some of them may be volts AC, volts DC. You may have to switch it. Well, this one here automatically detects it. And it also tests amps. That little groove right there, you slide over your wire, and it'll read your amperage, which is your current or flow of electricity. And this one here also combined ohms and continuity. This is good for testing, you know, to see if you have a break in a wire or something. And another good tool to have is a pair of tin snips. Most modern commercial uses metal studs, and a lot of times you have to cut through metal studs. And of course, a standard tape measure. I particularly like this one because it has a magnetic tip. So I can go to something metal, such as my truck bed here, and as you can see, it sticks. So it works real nice in some situations. This here knife is a stripping knife. Now you can use a regular pocket knife. I like to use the ones that you put the I say a lot, okay? Don't get on to me about it. But this one, particular one, is for cutting, you know, some pretty big size wire. Now I see I'm getting up here in minutes on this, so I'm going to stop this and I'm going to start another one.